Welcome to the National Indian Gaming Association's The New Normal weekly webcast series. My name is Ashley Cope, and I'm the marketing manager for the Indian Gaming Trade Show and Convention. I just want to share a few housekeeping tips before we get started today. Everyone is muted by default except for our speakers. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question or chat box and they will be brought up at the end. This session will also be recorded and available on our website. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Victor Rocha, Conference Chairman of the National Indian Gaming Association.
Thank you, Ashley. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Victor Rocha. I'm the Chairman of the National Gaming Association. My co-host is Jason Giles. He's the Executive Director of the National Gaming Association, and welcome to the New Normal. This afternoon, we have a really interesting program. This is a continuation of what we did last week, which was about talking about the new Arizona compact with the tribes. And from that one, we were talking with the attorney, Stephen Hart, who worked with the Navajo Nation. And we were talking to Jill Dorson, and who's a journalist from Sports Handle. I apologize, from Sports Handle, and our dear friend Valerie Spicer. And that view was from the 10,000-foot view. I wanted to talk about the deal and talk about what it looked like from far away. Well, this one, we're going to take a little closer look with the people who are involved. Also, I'm sorry, we invited the Navajo Nation. They seem to have been have a couple scheduling issues, and so they'll be here or they won't. But we do have Chairman Robert Miguel from the Auction Indian community of Arizona also. So Chairman, welcome.
Thank you, Victor, and those of you who have made this possible and happen. Again, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to sit down and speak with Victor in particular. I know him pretty well, and he's a great guy. But again, to be able to speak and possibly go into some detail as far as what we are moving on as far as our new compacts here in Arizona. So again, thank you.
Well, so we started. Actually, today is our 40th episode of this webcast, and we've been doing it weekly. And our purpose and our intent has always been to, initially was to help tribes understand what was going on in the pandemic, to understand the issues. We've done health and safety. We've covered so many subjects. It's been pretty wild if I stop and think about it. But our goal all along has been really to help educate the tribes, and using this medium as a way of communication. And the pandemic really exacerbated our need and our desire to communicate. And I think the whole Zoom thing is something that's here to stay. So the fact that I have you and that we can have this communication, we can have this conversation, I think is a real step forward. And more important, it's very educational for Indian country. They don't have to wait. We can have these conversations weekly instead of having to wait, for conferences and stuff like that. So again, thank you very, very much. Sir, so this deal was really interesting. One of the things that we learned last week is that this was a deal that took about 5 years. 5 years seems like a very long time. What do you think the hangup was? Was it the reluctance of the state? Where was the hangup in this deal?
I believe it was a combination of a number of things. Of course, when you're at the negotiating table, the state is going to want what they want, and vice versa, we're going to want what we want. And a lot of just, I believe, minor details were just that came into play that maybe somewhat halted or put everything in a turtle, excuse me, a turtle pace. Our lobbyists and our attorneys were able to sit down, and it was a lot of back and forth. We actually didn't sit with the state as far as leadership, table to table, person to person, but our attorneys did a lot of the legwork, and so it was that process as far as what was said at the table between the lawyers and the state, and then taking it back to the tribal leaders, and then the tribal leaders. So there was a lot of go-betweens, and sometimes some misunderstandings that came into play. But overall, we wanted to get this done sooner rather than later. And again, 5 years, yes, it was 5 years, and it just seemed like even further like it was more like 10 years. And so, but we knew the importance, when it came really to a lot of the services that the state of Arizona were lacking to provide for the state overall. That, again, we wanted to make sure that everything was in place, and the governor himself, again, there was programs that he needed some financial help with, and they knew they could work with the tribes, and again, negotiating a compact that would be open up more Las Vegas style type games, and the opportunity to grow economically, both for the community and the state. So again, it was just a lot of just minor details that needed to be ironed out during the negotiations. And that's, again, with the pandemic coming also, that kind of played a role in it, and a part as far as the pace of where we wanted to get to. And so, but overall, again, we 5 years is a long time, but we made it to the point to where we were able to sign our gaming compacts all together in a historic ceremony in downtown Phoenix, which is, again, something to be proud of.
Well, and the compact doesn't expire to 2023, and yet here we are in 2021 getting it done, which seems to be highly unusual for anything that we've ever done. We always run them right up to the deadline and stuff. So,
yeah.
So congratulations. What does the compact mean for your people?
It, for leadership, because we're more entailed and we're more in depth as far as the information. And I can speak on behalf of the tribal leaders and myself here in Ak-Chin. It just means I got interviewed the other day, and it was, I think one of my comments was, now we can still continue to dream, but we can dream a little bit bigger now that the compacts are in place. Those services that are in much need, and just other things that we probably have thought that, or we wanted that weren't able to do during this time. Now we could, again, move forward in some of those aspects, as far as providing even greater services for our people, from healthcare to education, to, again, just overall services for our people. And we're doing great today. We're doing fine, but this is, again, we're still lagging on some efforts overall for our people. And this will, again, allow us to actually make those dreams come true. We're always getting a lot of feedback from membership on what is needed, what they would like to see. And now, again, we could, those services in place, we can put more financial efforts into those to expand even more. And then, again, this gives us a broader base of just, again, making those dreams that, we had on the list that we couldn't do today. We can move forward on those. And, it's a great opportunity overall for me, for the tribes of Arizona, and those that aren't tribal communities in Arizona. But those efforts or this compact is going to allow us to, again, help those that are tribes that aren't into gaming. But again, we can share the economic base with those communities, and to see them prosper is really going to be a great thing to see as we move forward with these compacts and the new gaming aspects that are going to come into play.
Well, go ahead,
Robert,
Jason. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Robert, or morning out there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Robert, I got a couple of quick questions, and unfortunately, Victor, I'm going to have to duck out. I just got a urgent call from our chairman, and they've got something going on that they need my help on. So I apologize, Robert.
No worries, Jason.
Let me ask you this though, and this is we didn't really get into this last week because it was more technical on the compacts, but just looking at your background, I see the Arizona Cardinals logo there. So I can assume you're, a sports fan, or at least follow the Cardinals. And one of the things that I've noticed over this 3 to 4 year ongoing issue with sports betting, and to legalize it, not legalize it, ever since the Supreme Court decision, a lot of people don't even know how to sports bet, or what it does, or why it's important. I think sports fans do, just because the gambling portion of sports has been so integrated now on the broadcasts and on TV. They show the odds all the time now. how are you going to, I'm always curious, how are the Arizona tribes going to market this? And are you going to allow, I think I've read in the papers, will you allow college to take college bets, football, basketball, and other college bets? And how do you see it enhancing your tribal properties casino attendee experience? So that's a lot to chew on there, but our research consistently shows there's a very small segment out there that actually is really, really into sports betting and can just walk into a sports book and do all the different kind of bets that are available.
Yeah, and as far as marketing, that's going to be new, of course, to all the tribes. This is something new, and we'll figure those things out and how to market. And you know, we got some great connections overall. I think that we some tribes have already made contact and relationships with, and so we're still in that learning process as far as how to move on it and market it, but it eventually will come. As far as you know, making it visible and just showcasing it. And then I think what's important is when you do market that, you look at some of these potential relationships you may have with like DraftKings and whatnot, and maybe having some kind of a relationship with that to expose your facility even more and to bring the clientele in. You know, personally for me, I'm of course a sports person. I've been my whole life. Arizona Cardinal fan, of course, and but I don't know how to. I'm not into sports betting. You know, I've never gotten involved into that, but I do have a brother who's been doing it for a long time, and he gets very, very excited. He knows how to look at the odds and how to bet, and I guess there's certain ways that he's educating me now on how to use these odds or these numbers and on how to bet. So again, I'm still in that learning phase also, and I'm sure a number of others are too. But overall, Jason, I think what you know, again, just getting feedback and just listening to others that are in support of sports betting. You know, we here in Ak-Chin, we were told from the beginning, or we were advised that it may not be the money-making opportunity that you would think it would be, but it's another amenity to our facility that's going to entice or bring patrons or customers in to help us in a number of ways. They may come in to bet, but they still got to come in to bet, to enjoy dinner, to enjoy maybe going to the slot machine. But we also here in our community, we're fortunate to have an entertainment center which has a bowling alley, movie theaters, restaurant. So, you know, again, that's going to help in that aspect too. You know, they're betting that there's other amenities here that are going to maybe, you know, again, excite them to do and spend at that area. So again, you know, it's another amenity that's going to be featured at our facility, and it's again connected to our entertainment center. So there's a lot of options there for them to enjoy entertainment overall. But you know, but the past, I have to admit, maybe the past 2-3 months, as we continue to educate ourselves on sports betting and moving forward, there is now the potential for an economic burst in a sense. You know, it's getting big. It's really, really getting huge. And again, the professional teams are what is being really exposed as far as being able to bet. Now, college, you know, we're still getting educated on that, and if that's the direction that we're going to go or is going to be needing our support, and what we would definitely, again, because you know, with college, I mean, with any sports, with college, you're dealing still more with, in a sense, minors, because you know they're right. Younger athletes, and you know, a lot of these come into play as far as, you know, unfortunate situations where you have athletes who are taking money underneath the table, possibly to throw a game. So a lot of those things we're getting educated on. And now, do we want to involve ourselves into something like that? Again, no, definitely. But you know, those things are going to come into play as far as if we're going to expand sports betting to other, you know, because you can bet on anything from what I heard, you know, and understand. Yes. So we're still getting educated, Jason. And again, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we're playing the game right because that's what it's all about. Because if you start to disrupt the process, then that's where all these, negative things come into play. Was it a good idea to get into sports betting? Look at the tribes are doing it. And, it's kind of like a black eye. But again, we want to make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's before we actually expand even more, and making sure that there's a legit process to betting.
And Robert, and before I leave, I'd point you to your tribal neighbors in New Mexico who have dealt with a lot of the questions you just said you guys are, just starting to feel through now. And I know in New Mexico, they worked with the universities there, University of New Mexico and New Mexico State, to arrive at something that they could all work with.
Yes.
But so yeah, your neighbors have been through this, and just taking a peek over there might solve a lot of the issues. But
yeah, definitely, Jason, and definitely we'll do our research, and of course reach out to other tribes that are into or were into sports betting or continue to be in sports betting, and again, we want to learn from them on the pros and the cons, and of course we're in it. We're gonna take advantage of it, but we want to weigh those options, or we want to be able to see how we can improve. And again, just the legitimacy of the betting, that it's not corrupted or disrupted.
Right.
Again, we just want to make sure that we're not getting into trouble. Or I think Indian country overall, when it comes to sports betting, they're respectful, and they're going to do what they can to make the game right, or the betting's right. So.
Right. Well,
And if you don't mind me asking, Jason, is that
Yes.
Georgia or is that Green
Yeah,
Bay?
Georgia. I got my Georgia hat on today.
Okay.
Running around, and it's 100 degrees here in DC out of the blue. So
Okay. Bulldog, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, you're a bulldog. Awesome. No, you know what? It's great. It's good. Jason, it's great to see you. I know you have to leave, but it's always great to see you. And
no, thank you, Robert. And I'm sorry Navajo couldn't jump on, because they're instrumental in this too, in the rollout, and they have a New Mexico property, so they've been dealing with this a long time as well. So
yeah, and again, just as we move forward on sports betting, again, this is new, and there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way until we get it right. But again, eventually, we're this in a couple of years or whatnot, we're going to be fine overall, and we're going to have a good establishment. And again, no worries as far as customers and patrons coming in, enjoying a good time, just sports betting, having some fun, and watching some games overall. So that's the way we're looking at it.
excellent. Well, thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Victor.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Okay.
Chairman, I am so oblivious to sport. I saw that Cardinals thing behind you too, and I just thought you were a bird fan, a bird watcher. So it just goes to show
Victor,
you what.
Proud Arizona Cardinal fan. I just hope we win a Super Bowl before my time's up. And
oh wow!
Actually, I've been a season ticket holder for over 10 years, and I go to every game every Sunday. And even if they're losing, and they're getting ripped apart, I'm there till the clock hits zero. I'm a big fan.
Well, so this whole sports betting thing must be really exciting for you. Like, it sounds like I'm like you. I don't really know much about sports betting and stuff like that, but it's been really educational, and to watch the dedication that's really there, and especially for the tribes and stuff like that. And plus, we have these business relationships with these leagues that have gone on. I know my tribe has gone on for almost 20 years. With I think the Angels or something like that. So
Okay.
Very integral part. Now there's a couple of things that I'd like to, when I look at your casino, your property, you guys have a beautiful facility there. You got hotels, you got convention centers, you got entertainment. Am I correct? Is the minor league training, is that part of your deal too? That's Salt River.
Actually, that's the Salt River Indian community in Scottsdale. But we do play a role in the spring training leagues that go on here in Arizona. We're actually sponsor of the Chicago Cubs. So if you ever are attending a game during spring training, on the left field area, there's a big billboard up there, and it'll showcase the community of Auction. But yeah, we've been approached by a couple of teams that are in the minor leagues to to possibly potentially have a relationship in building a spring training facility here in our area. So it's really, again, these opportunities and options, what people don't understand sometimes is that, yes, we have a casino. Yes, we're making money for our people and we're doing great things for our people. But it also goes back to the state of Arizona in opportunities such as spring training. I don't know if you are well aware, but the past couple of years, Auction has played a heavy role in bringing opportunity to the state of Arizona nationally. We sponsored the Super Bowl. We sponsored the Waste Management Golf Open. Again, the NCAA Final Four basketball tournament and the NCAA championship football games. We gave back in a sense to those opportunities because we knew how big sports was in Arizona and in our community. We're a very small community. We have just over 1,100 members. But again, the opportunities to be able to put our name out there to help support again opportunities overall was key for us in helping to bring notoriety to the state of Arizona. We wanted the nation to know and understand that that Arizona could be a player in bringing prestigious events, and it just seemed like to trickle on. It just trickled after that. As far as our first major sponsorship was when the Super Bowl came and the Patriots and the Seahawks played at the University of Phoenix Stadium at that time, and what a great Super Bowl! Everybody knows that game, and I just seen a chat that said "Go Seahawks," and the Seahawks lost that game to my Patriots, who I was pulling for at the time.
Sorry, Ernest.
Yeah, but it gives us those things, Victor. Gaming, again, not just sports wise, but we've been able to utilize our funding to help with public safety and just a number of other needs in Arizona, overall education, healthcare, some of the unknowns that people don't really see and we don't expose ourselves too much, but we give back to a number of opportunities to the state of Arizona. And so small Auction with only 1,100 members, we're able to take those steps. And again, that's always been our motto, here in Auction is how can we help? What can we do to help you?
Chairman, you said something earlier and I wrote it down and I don't, it's a word that's very important to me, and that's the word dream. Before gaming, we weren't allowed to dream. We weren't allowed to dream big, much less have dreams at all. You know what I mean? And now we're at a place where you can have these dreams and they become manifested in reality by, talking about, these future business opportunities where, our grandparents couldn't have these conversations, and many times we've talked about how gaming has changed the narrative of what the Native American is, and you've seen this thing yesterday with Santorum talking about no Native American culture and the Native, you know what I mean? And gaming has allowed the tribes to, put themselves back in the rightful place in the American society. And part of that has come from our ability to dream. And that's what gaming has really given us is to we can dream now. You know what I mean? And,
Yes.
and especially for our people, and our grandparents would be proud of this,
Yeah. And Victor, it's and I don't want to get too political.
Let's go. Let's go.
But it shouldn't have taken money for us to be at the table. It should never have taken us. We should have been heard. We're the first peoples. Our priorities should be taken care of first. We were put into situations, and I've seen the struggles. I've seen from my grandfather and other elders who are no longer with us. Unfortunately, they went through some tough, hard times, but they encountered that for us to be where we're at today. So I can't move forward, and I can't really speak on the progress without mentioning the fact that it was those that came before us who laid down that foundation and that road for us to travel today to be able to prosper and to be able to encounter a lot of the great things that we're able to have now and the opportunities. I had a conversation with when I became a leader 8 years ago, and I can remember, and I'll never forget the conversation I've had with some some younger members at that time who were just finishing high school. And a lot of the times, during my generation and prior, once you finish high school, that was a major milestone because
Right.
sometimes there was no college afterwards. But 8 years ago when I became a leader and gaming was, of course, in play, when you gave them those opportunities and you sat down with them, what are you going to do next? Well, what can I do? I said, well, you can go to college. I can go to college. Yeah. At a junior college? No. You can go to a major college that, if you'd like. And, it just kind of like, they were in shock because like, wow, we can go to Arizona State University. We can go to the University of Arizona. We can go to these major colleges, USC, UCLA. Yes, you can. They never thought they could do that. And, that was really, I'll never forget that because again, they didn't realize how much we could do now, as far as education, and it's and the opportunity to be able to move forward and give them a lot more options. Go for your doctorate, go for whatever it is that you're the saying of follow your dreams, and if you really want it, you'll fulfill your dreams. That's actually going to happen or can happen now. I mean, there is no, I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't know it was allowed to happen. Now we can do those things, and there's no taking a step back to dreaming anymore. You can dream and fulfill it. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I got 5 girls and 2 boys. My youngest one is 11 years old. He's 11 years old. And when Deb Haaland got confirmed to be the Secretary of the Interior, she said, "Daddy, natives can go to the top, even women." And so it inspired her. It motivated her even more so now that, there is a presence there at the Hill in Secretary Haaland and others, Sharice Davies, that these can be done. We have a light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope, and we can achieve these things if we really, really want it. And so it really, again, it was emotional just speaking with her because she identified it herself, but she's so proud. She's so proud to be Native American, and she's so proud of the direction we're going finally. And, when Secretary Haaland got confirmed, I literally just, of course, cried, but I just thought of all those struggles we've had. And I thought of my grandfather, who was chairman back in the 70s, who raised me. I didn't meet my father until I was 18 years old, but my grandfather was fortunately there for me and raised me until I lost him. But he just instilled so much. But I just thought of him when Secretary Haaland got confirmed, and just thought about how many Native Americans that are no longer with us and that are here with us today. We're just so proud and really, had their chest out like we finally made it in a sense, and we have that seat at the table. So very, very, like I said, historic that she was able to be there. And now it gives a lot of Native Americans, especially the younger ones, the thought and the drive that dreams can come true.
Absolutely. And this gaming is a manifestation of our grandparents' dreams, for us to have a better life and to create something, better for ourselves than they ever had. And let me go back to gaming for a second. You talk about dreams, and we've always had these casinos, but they've always been missing something. We can't have dice, we can't have craps, and we're trying to give the Vegas experience or the gambling experience. And I don't even think it's fair to say Vegas anymore, because I think gambling is so ubiquitous. And I think in tribal gaming, especially, we've created this brand that is completely different and unique than what Las Vegas is offering. But now that, part of the deal was you guys get dice games, you guys get craps, you get roulette, you get sports study. Now, Ak-Chin, you guys are partners with Harrah's, am I correct?
Yes, we are, Victor. We're partners with Harrah's. We've been partners with Harrah's since we began gaming, 20 plus years. And again, the reason, and it was a great move by the tribal leaders at that time. Of course, Ak-Chin is in the rural area of the greater Phoenix metropolitan area. And so because, everybody had the right to game and everybody was going to be gaming in a sense, we figured at that time, tribal leaders felt that, we needed an identity. We needed to possibly have a relationship with an established entertainment organization such as Harris. So they were able to negotiate a deal with Harris to become their managers at the time being. And I believe those contracts lasted about 5 years apiece. And so I think they went in, tribal leaders at that time went in with moving forward with Harris and seeing how it progressed, or if there was maybe a potential opportunity for the tribe to take over themselves instead of having Harris manage it. But you know what? The relationship has been so great, and we wouldn't be where we're at today without Harris, the name brand. And so we were able to, again, continue to renegotiate and continue to move with Harris to this day to day. And I see on the chat too, Harris will be participating, will be a partner with us on the sports betting portion of the casino here in Ak-Chin. And right now they're in negotiations with the sports betting agency group. I don't want to identify who they are at this time. And but again, those talks are ongoing, but we should have somebody in place by the time we're able to move forward in that process. And retail and mobile is in discussions too. So probably more than likely it'll happen that way. But again, we want to make sure that we're continuing to educate ourselves on all these opportunities when it comes to sports betting and retail and mobile and whatnot.
So part of the deal is there's 10 licenses earmarked for the tribes and then 10 more earmarked for commercial, but everyone gets retail, right? So you can still open retail without having mobile too. So
exactly.
And that's a pretty big deal, the fact. So how do you think, I know you can't go into negotiations, you mentioned, but I know mobile is a big component for Hera's growth strategy and stuff like that. And actually, let me circle back just very briefly back into Hera's real quickly. And I like to give them credit because, and this is Caesars and stuff like that. And our sister tribe is the Rincon tribe. They're Luiseño also, and they have a deal with Hera's, and the Eastern Band of Cherokees have a deal with Harris. And I think it's always unusual for the Europeans when they come over here and they see these compact deals, and they're for 5 years with an extension of 2 years, so like 7 years. And yet you look at Harris, and Harris has had these ongoing relationships with the tribes that have been sustainable. And I have to tell you, I don't see, most tribes just seem to be really happy with the working relationship with them like you do. So I think that goes a long way to the people at Caesars, the people who work in Harris, and having these relationships. And I think the rest of the industry can learn a lot about working with tribes through Harris. So I say congratulations, and good for them too. They're doing.
Oh, yeah, right. Definitely. Again, Harris is all over the brand, and we didn't as the relationships have continued. We've seen their growth, and we actually, I believe, there was a small tribe in California that was able to negotiate an agreement with Harris, and I believe they're up in the northern area of California.
Yeah, I think there's another one up there too. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, yeah. And actually, we helped play a role in that relationship. The group had come in and wanted to have more detail and more information from the tribes to see how their relationship was with the Harris. And so we entertained them. We had them down here at Ak-Chin, and we spent about the day with them, and again, ourselves without the Harris team there. And so we were able to, again, explain our relationship and how we felt about it and how we progressed. And so I believe by the end of the day, a deal was set to sit down and start negotiations to have Harris run their casino. So we were able to, again, play a role, and we were happy to do that because, again, we had to, again, support our relationship and how we've been able to prosper. And again, I'll say it 1,000 times, if it wasn't for Harris, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
That's such a great endorsement. And also, I'd like to thank our new sponsor of the website, Harris, Making Tribes Happy for over 20 years. No, I'm just kidding. They're not our sponsors. They're not our sponsors, but it feels like an endorsement of them. But it's just, it has a lot to do with the relationships in the tribes, and more importantly, making tribes like yourself and other tribes feel competitive, and that they're in the game and stuff like that, and especially your property and where you at. I've been to your property several times, and I know how beautiful it is, and watching the growth and what you've done there is just really amazing. Kind of let's go back. One of the interesting things about this deal that I think a lot of us have questions about in Indian country was, it's there's no way to look at this other than a really big expansion of gambling in the state of Arizona. Now your property is going to be as close as we've had in Indian country to the Las Vegas experience, with craps and roulette and stuff like that. And now you're going to have sports betting and retail. So you guys are now, speaking of dreaming, you guys are now there. All the years of dreaming of becoming a full service casino, you're there. So what's that going to mean? What's that going to mean for you guys in the next compact negotiation? Is what's next?
And I'm glad you mentioned that. Even though we have the compact in place now, and we're making plans on how to utilize that to its max. Now we start to sit down and figure out exactly what you said. What can we do next? When the next gaming compact can come into play, we need to start planning or having a dream and a vision of what growth may look like in the next couple of years, as far as gaming and being able to provide, or again, connect that with retail and just other things we're able to add around the area. Because right now we're looking at developing. Again, you've been out to our casino entertainment center, so we're looking to develop around the area even more, because we want to make that, of course, it's a casino. That's the one most identified place within the area there. But we want to make it more of a family destination, right now. For this is the place to come. And again, there are a lot of options, a lot of great things. And one of the things I can elaborate on and speak of is that when we went into compact negotiations with the state, back when it was first moved on, back in about 25 years ago, when the first compacts came into play, Ak-Chin was able to have a second casino. But leaders at that time felt, that there was no need for a second casino, so they took that out of the agreement with us. So my vision was to reestablish that, because as at that time when we did our first compact, I believe our membership was probably about maybe 600 to 700. Now we're getting close to 1,200, so we're almost doubling. So there's a need to be able to grow land-based wise. And, just really quick, when we were first established back in 1912 and given our land by executive order by President Taft, we were given 40,000 plus acres of land. Local farmers in the area petitioned the government. They gave us too much land, and they were able to win that. And within 6 months, we were reduced to 22,000 acres that we're at today. So it took half our land away. But to the west of us, going towards California, sits the rest of our original lands. So we have that opportunity to potentially buy that land back, which is again another political thing. Is like, we should be giving our lands back instead of having to buy it. So, but anyways, as we move forward and potentially look to grow land-based wise to the west, we will have that option to be able to put a second casino in that area. So that was one of my stance was, if we're going to move on the second negotiation and agreement with the state, I want that second casino back. So it went back and forth for a while, and we finally were able to they were able to entertain it. So we had that opportunity to put a second casino. It may not happen during my lifetime. It may not happen in the next couple of decades, but it gives our future leaders or future people that opportunity to grow economically through gaming with a second casino. And what is not known is that in a couple of years or in a decade or two, there's going to be a major corridor, I-11 interstate highway, that's going to run from Mexico to Nevada. So that's going to give us some options and opportunities as as commuters and the growth of the area continues, so a lot of things come into play. So so what do we do next gaming compact that's going to help us enhance and move forward and bringing opportunity economically to our area. And you have to consider too, Victor, that the city of Maricopa, which sits next to us, I remember together with Ak-Chin, there were probably about 2,000 citizens. And today there are close to 60,000 citizens in our area, which is huge. And the growth and it's only continuing to grow. Pinal County, the city of Maricopa, is one of the fastest growing cities, if not in Arizona, the Southwest. So it's continuing to grow, and the opportunity to be able to, and I just don't want to keep saying gaming, but the opportunity to provide entertainment overall, whether it's gaming and other aspects, is really, really crucial to again, the customer, that especially here, they're, instead of having to go into Phoenix or Tucson, they can stay here because we have the opportunity to provide and get feedback on what they would like to see in the needs out here. So again, the opportunity right now is with the compacts in place, we're able to, again, to figure out exactly what we want, how we're going to do it. But now we don't take a break. We start now and think about, okay, next gaming compact, when it comes into play, what can we do to enhance or boast us even more?
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about, dreaming again. The ability to dream and know that these dreams will come true later on down the road. One of the interesting things that you said was your ancestral land is going back towards California. One of these deals is that it allows about 4 or 5, I believe it's 4 casinos in the Phoenix area. But you sound like your game is to move further away from Phoenix, gets more of this California, the more of this traffic corridor thing. So it just sounds like what a wonderful opportunity coming down the road for you guys.
And let me kind of correct that a little bit, Victor. We're actually again, our original lands, there's probably another maybe 10 to 11 miles to the west of us, going towards the Gila Bend, the town of Gila Bend. More, it's we can't go any further than that because that's where the Navajo Nation sits. So we would have to again, only go to a certain point of where we lost our original lands. But again, that I-11, potential I-11 coming through, or from what I understand, it is going to go through. That's going to give us an opportunity to, again, to go as far as we can to be able to counter and maybe obtain and utilize that process as far as growth in that area. And yeah, there is, I know with the compacts, there are a couple of tribes that are allotted for, I believe, 5 casinos. And of course, they don't have that many today, but that gives them that opportunity and option. And I think overall, that's what it was as far as the compact is, that to reestablish again, like us, that second, and for the others, maybe that 4th or 5th that they're allowed to. And again, we understand that like the metro tribes, which we are considered a metro, even though we're out in the rural, but we're considered a metro, that, again, we want to try to get away from that because growth is coming our way even more so. So we want to be able to capitalize on that. And again, we're not trying to, of course, when it comes to gaming, Victor, you fight for the dollar, you fight for the customer, you fight for them to come and be a part of your casino, and that was one of the great things about the relationship with Harrah's. Although we are out in the rural area and we were fighting, I don't like to use the word fight, but we're competing for the dollar, so because of the brand Harrah's, we actually get a lot. I would say last statistics we were given by Caesars was that I believe in West Phoenix, that's where a majority of our patrons are coming from to come in to play at Harrah's. So I mean, so it's a great opportunity. Again, the name has really helped us in that aspect.
Sir, our friend Ernest Matthews, who's an attorney, has an interesting question. He goes, under the new compact, iGaming, is iGaming allowed, or is that something to negotiate in a subsequent compact? So now we're talking about mobile, we're talking about sports betting. So obviously the next logical step will be iGaming. Yes. What do you think about that?
Yeah. you know what, again, you know, it's a process, and that's going to be entertained or spoken of. But you know, as it expands in such as iGaming, and what that's an opportunity that, again, we could sit down and really truly educate ourselves. But I can see it going that way, even more so. You know, it's again, we want to accommodate the gamers, whether through betting or whatnot, in any aspects. Again, we're able to, again, give them that overall experience on how they would like to utilize their gaming options. But, and again, always say it in a regulated and a respectful way, to where we're able to, again, give something respectfully to the process. So yeah, you know, it's something that, you know, that'll be coming our way eventually. So,
You know, you know, I think everyone in Indian country is definitely looking at that question about mobile and what that means, and especially with sports betting. You know, in California, we should be making an announcement here in the next day or two that the tribes have qualified to be on the ballot for sports betting. You know, whether it be 21, 22, we're still waiting. But you know, that's the question that's coming down the road eventually, which is iGaming. I see a lot of people kind of kicking that can down the road, but it's something that can't be ignored, and it's definitely part of the future of gaming, and how we deal with it. That's kind of still needs to be seen.
yes, you're right,
you know,
Victor. You know what, Victor, there's going to be, you know, iGaming, just a number of other gamings that are probably not even heard of yet, but are in the process. So there's going to be a lot of things coming as we move forward that we haven't heard of yet, but eventually
Yes.
will come our way. But you know, it's an opportunity, I think, overall, that, you know, we're giving those options, or we will be giving those options to prosper in a way that is suitable for all parties. And you know, I just want to add that, you know, it's great we're talking about gaming. Gaming's done wonders for the tribes, especially Auction. Again, we've been able to do things that we never fathomed we could do. But you know, I want to reiterate that we're as always, that we are a farming community overall. You know, we do farm and we do a lot of great things, but gaming has helped us take it to another level. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I know this is a gaming session, but Auction has always been farmers.
Right. And you guys have the farming company with the equipment and stuff like that. So
well, yeah, and it works together, because without gaming, we wouldn't have a lot of these heavy equipments that we use for our farming. So it's a combination of both and whatnot. And I'd like to add, if you've ever eaten at the In-N-Out burger food chain, we grow potatoes here. We have a contract with In-N-Out. So if you're eating a French fry from In-N-Out burgers, it's most likely coming from Auction.
And I know most of you East Coasters wouldn't know anything about that. So, you know, but you know, so I apologize. Eventually,
No
In-N-Out will get out there to you guys. One of the interesting things about the compact really is about the expansion of gambling. You see, the sports leagues are going to have an opportunity. The stadiums are going to have an opportunity for sports betting. You know, you're going to have the NASCAR. You're going to have the PGA in Scottsdale, I believe that's going to be. But the one that's kind of really interesting for me, and I don't know if you've given this much thought, but I'd like to know, what do you think about the stadium and their exclusivity, the 5-block exclusivity zone around there? I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. What does that mean to you?
You know, I really haven't entertained that really too much. And it's something I believe more for the metro that are in the greater Phoenix area that deal with most of that stuff, because it really truly involves them, because they're there. And I know the facilities are named, the two tribes that have the naming rights to them the past couple of years have been the two tribes in the metro area. And I believe, we have a third, the nation from down south. So it really comes into play with them and whatnot. So, you know, we've had our little brand naming of opportunities in the greater Phoenix area, but smaller concert venues and whatnot. But overall, like I said, when it comes to the gaming portion of it, that's really, again, the three metro tribes that sit in the area.
Yeah, well, you know, we've talked about this issue before, and part of the strategy is turning these, revenue generating assets from 1 day a week to 7 days a week. And so I think what you're going to see, the trickle down effect, was you'll see, like in minor league and stuff like that, people will be expecting more entertainment. And and kind of to jump back real quick and not to get too far back, but one of the things that I've seen that has been very evident to me during this pandemic is that people can only sit at home in their TV and their iPad and their iPhone for so long. People are social animals. No matter what iGaming people tell you, and that's why mobile is so important for the growth of sports betting and stuff like that too. That is the real end game for it, is to make sure that everybody can have access to gambling and betting and on your phone. It's just the way it's going to be, and it's the way the future is going to be. So this must be very exciting for you guys and your ability, again, talking about your dreaming and stuff like that. So yeah. Do you have now, so you kind of talked about it. So now where we're at right now, we're waiting for the compacts have been signed. The governor has signed I believe he did it on Friday. He signed the compacts. And so now we're waiting for Secretary Holland to approve the compacts. How do you think that's going to go? Have you had any conversations? How's that feel?
No, I haven't had any conversations overall, but we feel confident that it's gonna run its course like it usually does, and that we're going to be okay, and we're going to be moving here again in the next couple of months once it gets recorded in the registry after approval from Secretary Howland, and again get it registered, and then it'll take a couple of months after that to get the final go. But we feel confident overall that the process is going to take its place. It's going to be smooth, and again, no glitches. And so right now, I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, that a number of tribes are already preparing to lay down what they need to lay down as far as the expansion overall, not just with sports betting, but the other games that are coming into play at our casinos. And I think it was the other day I was in the casino for a meeting with our GM, and it was really congested in a sense. Of course, all safety and health protocols in place, but I just think about how exciting it's going to be when we see more people in here than norm. And so we're going to have some growing pains in a sense as far as that, but they're going to be good growing pains. And again, overall, when it's said and done, we're providing an excellent and great opportunity for customers to come and enjoy entertainment. But again, we're able to we're going to fruition. It's going to be a great fruition as far as economically, and overall, it's going to be a win-win for everybody, because we're again providing entertainment, and then we're providing services, even greater services, and our dreams are getting bigger here in the community.
I have one last question before we go. So how do you think these 10 sports betting licenses, and when we're talking sports betting licenses, we're talking about mobile, how do you think those will be divided up without getting too much into the weeds?
I believe, and again, it's hard for me to comment on that, without,
I know, I understand.
But I could just say, I would hope it, and I would feel and think and know that it would be a fair process overall. Again, we want to make sure that everyone is getting a fair opportunity to again, with these licenses. We're, of course, auction is in hopes of getting the license. I think overall, I know 10 licenses are earmarked and stuff like that, but we're going to find a solution for the other half. And overall, when it's all said and done, despite the dilemma of only a certain amount of licenses, I think overall we're going to be fine. Everybody's going to move forward in a great way. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah, and like we said, there's still retail involved, so there's still going to be sports betting license. And you know what, Chairman, I think the important thing here in this conversation is that the tribes are now in a place in their business careers and where they can compete now. They're saying, listen, let us get into the marketplace, let us bring our product, we can compete toe to toe. And I think that's what you're starting to see in a maturation of the market, is that the tribes have really created name brand products for their market, for their region, And it's capitalism, I guess, at its best, right? Commerce at its best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Like I said, it's overall, again, I just want to mention that, when we did sign our agreement, that moment going in the back with all the tribes, which is probably the first that we've ever been together in quite a long time, even before the pandemic. It was more like a family reunion. Everybody was congratulating each other on their opportunity and their success. And you just felt the strength and the emotions in that room that we wanted everybody to be able to succeed even more so with this new compact, and it's very historic. And I was blessed by the good Lord to be a part of that. And again, overall, what I got from that meeting in the back with tribal leaders before we actually went out was the true, sincere support for one another. And again, that comment of how can we help one another was really evident in that room and whatnot. So again, emotional, great moment for me, historic. And we move from here. And we wish everyone the best, definitely, as far as gaming, not just in Arizona, but throughout the nation. I mean, we're always way behind as far as our needs. And, we know the government will never fulfill their obligation to tribes, but, we're starting to make our own progression in that area. And again, it's I can just say, Victor, I feel so good today that we have a major, true bright light at the end of the tunnel for Native Americans everywhere, and that we finally have that seat at the table, and it's only going to get better.
Well, sir, I think the important thing here is that the fact that we are able to use our ancestral lands, the lands of our grandparents, to raise ourselves up out of abject poverty into the life that we have now and sending our children to college. And I think our ancestors would be very proud of the decisions that we're making today. And more importantly, like you just said, we are stronger together. When we work together, we can get a lot more done. Chairman, we're at the end of our time, and I just really want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us more information on this Arizona sports betting deal. I apologize that our brothers and sisters of the Navajo Nation couldn't make it. They're in session right now, so they kind of had a little hard time getting out, but that's understandable. We got a government to run, and just like you have a government to run. And again, we at the National Indian Gaming Association, we support you, endorse you 100%. And I think part of this conversation was making sure that people understand, the tribes are happy with their deals. They like what they're getting. And this is a great opportunity for them. So I think we, as Native Americans, we stand behind you, we support you, and we appreciate you. And again, thank you so much for being our guest. I hope to have you again real soon. And for everyone out there, thank you so much. Chairman, would you like to say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye, everybody. And I just want you to know, gaming, Indian tribal gaming throughout the state works for everybody, not just the state, but the country. And here at Auction, I always like to say and end, we provide the best for the best by the best. So again, thank you for the opportunity, Victor. It was great to see you. And I hope to be on again sometime soon. And again, everybody's out there, stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you, sir. And thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Victor. Bye.